I mean, where do we start with this one? I think it's one of those rare situations where both sides are going to be coming away from this football match completely pissed off beyond all reason. And I think both sets of players, managers, coaches and fans have the right to be pissed off at how that match has gone. And certainly from myself, from a Manchester United perspective, even though we've managed to salvage a point from that match, I am absolutely disgusted once again. Because let's actually have a look at the facts from this football match. Everton have absolutely battered us in terms of physicality, in terms of work rate, in terms of chances created, shots on goal, whatever you want. You can take any metric from that match, and the only stat that we've able to get better than them is the possession. But that's just because we just kept passing it round the back and not creating anything. The amount of running that we saw from Everton players in that match, the amount of desire, the amount of passion, the drive, the just all the things that you need as a foundation of building a football club was on show from those Everton players today. And yet again, for the umpteenth time over the last 5 years, it's not been there from Manchester United. So, yes, I am actually happy that we've got a point from that match. I'd have taken a point if you'd have offered me at the start of the day, because I said Everton to win this 2-1 in my predictions. I'd have bit your hand off for a point at half-time, and I would have had to have asked what the hell went wrong from an Everton perspective for Manchester United to get a point from that match. Well, what's happened for Manchester United to get a point from that match is Moments FC turned up once again. Bruno scores a worldie, Ugarte scores a worldie. That's it. That's why we've drawn this game 2-2. There's no other thing you can say as to why we've got a somewhat positive result from that football match. You can't look at it any other way because we only had 3 shots on target all match. The Bruno free kick, the Ugarte volley, and the Bruno pop shot that Pickford tipped over the bar, which any normal goalkeeper would have just caught because Pickford's an absolute midget who can't save things that are more than 6 foot tall. So, it's just so poor. And look, people can sit here and say, didn't Manchester United play well in the last 20 minutes? Did they? Did they really play well in the last 20 minutes? Where were our other chances? Like, we had more of the ball. We were in their half. We didn't do anything with it. We just kept knocking it around. And then when we actually got to the killer part of the pitch, as always, either the ball didn't come into the box, or when it did come into the box, it was a terrible final pass, be it from Dalot, Ugarte, Bruno, Garnacho, Xerxes, whoever. The quality in the final third is just not there. And it again just comes down to that composure and that conviction. Then we have to talk about the goals that Everton scored. Because, oh my word, 5 attempts we had to clear the first one. 5. I mean, arguably 6, because there's someone at the front post who misses the initial header, which then causes Dalot to scuff it back into danger in the first place. Then I think Maguire has a go, Mazraoui has a go, Dalot has another go. Oh, it just comes out clear. They're appealing for offside. I don't think it's offside. I think if you're going to say there's any offside, it's the initial one that gets in there. I think it's Lindstrom that's in an offside position that then causes Mazraoui to jump and head it. Beto's not interfering with play at that point in time. There's an argument that I think Lindstrom is interfering with Mazraoui, and Mazraoui then tries to head it. But for crying out loud, that's desperation offside. The ball gets recycled twice more before Beto ends up putting the ball in the net. So I don't think that's offside. It's just yet again another example of failing to defend a set piece. And then the second goal, I mean, how many times have I sat here this season and talked about goals where so many people are at fault, purely down to just lack of desire? And this is another prime example. I mean, I think there was an FC21 in the Europa League. There was the Tottenham one at the start of the season where Van der Ven ran the whole pitch. And this is another one. Sloppy giving the ball away in the first place. Lack of desire to win the ball back from the person who loses it. Bruno just stops when Doucouré slips, because Doucouré slips as he goes past Bruno, and Bruno just lets him go. Ball outside initially. No pressure on the ball carrier. Ball in behind Maguire. He's in absolute no man's land. Doesn't know whether to come or to go. It's a fantastic pass, by the way. But the ball in behind to Beto. From that position, everything is wrong from every single Manchester United player. Bear in mind, Doucouré plays that initial pass after Bruno's already let him go. He then runs past Casemiro and Ugarte, straight through the middle of them, when that ball is played down to Beto. We've already mentioned Maguire out of position. Then Mazraoui makes a massive mistake. He absolutely abandons Jack Harrison to come over to deal with Beto. That is suicidal defending. You cannot do that. You cannot leave your man. Yes, Beto's bearing down on goal, but Onana's in a position where he can come out. Maguire's in a position where he can come back. Mazraoui abandoning his man is horrendous and means that Maguire has an impossible amount of distance to cover to get back on Jack Harrison. Whilst that's going on, Dalot is making absolutely no effort to get back on Lindstrom or Harrison on that side of the pitch. And we've already mentioned Casemiro and Ugarte not doing their jobs on Doucouré. Harrison cuts inside. He scuffs the shot. He does one of them ones where you like kick it onto your own leg and it spoons up in the air. Okay? I can forgive Onana for the initial save because he thinks it's going that way. It spins off his other foot. He has to wobble and he palms it up in the air. From that point onwards, Andre Onana, this is embarrassing. You are a goalkeeper. Get up and punch the ball clear. You don't even have to catch it. But you are tall, you can jump, and you can use your arms. For him to take that long to get off the floor, but even once he's got off the floor, to take a step back and expect Maguire to deal with it, when you've literally got an extra limb you can use to jump higher than Maguire, I could not believe it. I think Maguire's been caught out. People are having a go at Maguire for this. They think that he should be dealing with it and getting up with Doucouré. Absolutely not. That is goalkeeper's ball. Deal with it, punch it clear. Maguire doesn't jump, Onana doesn't do anything. It's 2-0 to Everton and we're staring down another humiliating defeat. And again, you can't put this on the manager. You can't. This is the mentality of this group of players. And we have seen it year in, year out for the past 5 years. And by the way, a little message to all those people that still want Ruben Amorim sacked because we're still playing crap under his system and the system doesn't work and we need to get rid of him and it's not blah, 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 blah. Right, we don't have any fucking money, right? We spent 17 million getting rid of Erik ten Hag. We spent 15 million getting in Dan Ashworth and then losing Dan Ashworth straight away. We spent, 10 to 15 million getting Ruben Amorim in the first place and the Glazers have just taken another 40 million out of the club. We've got no money. We can't even sack Ruben Amorim. So forget about that. We need to back him. We need to support him. I think he made some good decisions in the second half. I'd have liked to have seen Garnacho come on a little bit earlier. But when he did come on, he did make a difference. He did start committing players. And moving Bruno back into the more midfield area allowed him to get on the ball more and start playing some better passes. And I stress that, some better passes. First half, yet again, the amount of times Bruno gave the ball away, unforgivable. The amount of little dinks that he tried to put into Højlund. I felt so bad for Højlund. There is nothing more he can do. He does not stop running up there. He is week in, week out, putting in a graveyard shift, pressing on his own, getting no support from Xerxes or Bruno Fernandes. And today, when the pair of them got the ball in that area of the pitch, their passes to him were just crap. Absolutely awful. And there's nothing you can do. And this is why when Obi came on, nothing changed. Because it was no different. He was getting no service from Bruno, from Ugarte. At least when Garnacho was on there, he was getting on the ball and then committing a couple of players, which opened up space to bring more players into the game. But again, just all round, absolutely appalling from Manchester United. Absolutely appalling. And it's just 2 moments. It is literally 2 moments. Garnacho wins the free kick. Bruno shoots from a position he should never be shooting from and gets dead lucky that Doucouré decides to jump like that to block the first free kick. That creates a second free kick. Great free kick, and he scores. The only good set piece Bruno Fernandes took all day, by the way. The amount of free kicks we had in dangerous areas that went nowhere, and every single corner he took today either went to the first man or went into Jordan Pickford's hands. Awful set piece delivery. Awful. But hey-ho, at least he scored the free kick. Even the goal that we score, the Ugarte volley, is from one of those situations. Poor corner, gets headed clear, and Ugarte chests it and volleys it. And like I say, that's why we draw this game 2-2. Final note, the penalty. Is it a penalty for Everton? Firstly, the moment I saw Ashley Young stick his arse in the air and fling his arms out, I went, classic Ashley Young, never a penalty. Look, does De Ligt have a slight bit of his shirt? Yes. Does Maguire have a slight hand on his waist? Yes. Does Ashley Young kick the floor and then starfish? Yes, it's a dive. It's never a penalty. If you're going to give a penalty for that, you give a penalty for both times Maguire went down in the penalty area. On both of those occasions, they weren't a penalty. And you give a penalty for the challenge on Garnacho, which was given as a goal kick, by the way. So the referee has deemed that Garnacho got the ball, had the contact from behind, and still gave a goal kick. So that's not a penalty. So if you're going to give the Ashley Young one, you've got to give at least one of the Maguire ones or the Garnacho one. So I'm sorry, if you're an Everton fan and you've got your reasons for why that's a penalty, I understand them. But I've grown up watching Ashley Young playing for Manchester United. He does it all the time. He's a prolific diver. It's what he does. And he's tried to con the referee. And he successfully conned the referee. And I'm glad that VAR intervened, because it's just never a penalty. It is never a penalty. It's not enough. If he actually had the desire to get there, Ashley Young, I think he'd have probably actually got it. And it was a rare instance where Everton players weren't fully committing to the situation to actually get on the end of something. But that's Ashley Young. That's how he plays. He's constantly looking for free kicks and penalties. So, unfortunately, that's the way it is. Also, Onana, again, what the hell was that save? Pushing it into that area in the first place. But, look, I can sit here until the cows come home about these performances. Again, it comes down to the mentality of the players. It's got nothing to do with the coach. This has got even nothing to do with all the problems that we've got going on upstairs. This is the mentality of this group of footballers, and they have to sharpen up. And I think Ruben Amorim is fully set on trying to have a clear out this summer. But again, I don't know how they pull it off. All these players are on astronomical wages. They're on long contracts. Casemiro's come out this week and says he's happy to see out the rest of his contract. And can you blame him? He's on 350 grand a week. He barely plays. And when he plays, he's crap. So why would he actually want to get on that football pitch and potentially risk exposing himself even more? He'd more than happily sit on the bench on 350 grand a week for the next 18 months. This is the problem. This is the issues that have been created from upstairs. We are left with a squad of players that are weak-minded and getting overpaid. So how the hell we rebuild in this sort of circumstance, I don't really know. But I have faith in the manager. He made some good decisions today, and it impacted the overall final result because those little tweaks to the formation allowed us to create the 2 goals that we did end up scoring. Final note, Patrick Dorgu, great signing. Love his commitment, love his effort. But my worry is, look at the performances of Mazraoui now compared to the start of the season. Even look at Ugarte's performance today. I know he scored the goal, but it was a bit lacklustre. Look at De Ligt's performance today compared to the start of the season. All these players that I'm singing their praises of when they initially sign, they get caught up in this toxic mentality and this negative, weak-minded, lackadaisical mentality of this football club. And 6 months on, they're not the players they were when we initially signed them. So I'm happy for Dorgu. I'm happy he played the way he did today. I just got to hope that he is setting an example to everyone else to try and match his level rather than getting sucked into the vortex that is the Manchester United dressing room at the moment. So, as always, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Where do we go next from here? I really don't know. Unbelievably, we've got a relegation 6-pointer against Ipswich Town in midweek. If we can't win that at Old Trafford, then God knows what the future looks like for Manchester United. We simply have to win that game. If we do, all this nonsense chat about relegation goes away immediately. If we lose, all of a sudden, that chat might start becoming a little bit more genuine. So, thank you very much for watching as always. Apologies for yet another massive rant, but I felt it needed to be said today. I'm happy with the point, but I'm disgusted with the performance of those players again. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon.